Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Psychos and Sociopaths, which we did is we're changing the schedule just for this week, so we'll get everything back on track. We had a weird week this week because we wanted to go live with the Maxwell case that's going on. We'll still go live. We're probably going to keep this up until the Maxwell case is over with. Hopefully, it's only a month. Yeah. Johnny has to put on his hat. Why don't you wear that in the studio?
I don't know, man.
Is it too weird?
No. Why would it be weird?
I don't know. Anyways, today on Psychos Sociopath, fucking just quit. Just fucking quit.
That's why, because it would be a complete distraction to the entire creative process.
Today, what we're going to talk about is Jack the Ripper. We haven't been, we didn't want to do him in the early of the show because we wanted to have a little bit of credibility and everything like that. But
credibility,
that's funny. Which we still don't have. But I did find out something this week is they actually have.
Hold on. My reverb just went all crazy on me. There we go. Okay, great.
They actually have a suspect of Jack the Ripper crimes, and it's let me get this right. Ron Kaminsky, or is that Aaron?
Ron Kaminsky.
It's really sad as I figured out how to pronounce his name.
Fucked up, Ron.
He was a 23-year-old barber from Poland that lived in the British area. What's really sad is I looked through the comics. Seville. Well, I looked through the comics of the comments of this.
Mm-hmm.
Of I found this out, and they're like, we found the DNA off of the Shaw. We finally got the person, and it's this guy right here. And with the comments on it was, sperm doesn't last that long on a Shaw and everything. It's probably diluted. It's probably not even that guy. I was like, Jack the Ripper didn't rape anybody. He just killed him. So it was probably just saliva. And
to an extent, and to their credit, they are right. Sperm does not last that long on a Shaw. However, on a blue intern's dress, it will last for months.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I had to.
What's really sad is she's actually Monica Lewinsky hates that now.
She does, man. And one of the things though is that she doesn't vote Democrat anymore. They left a bad taste in her mouth.
I knew that was going. I didn't say the word. I said going for a reason, because I'm not. We need a tooth. All right, fuck it. Know where you're coming from on this one.
Mm-hmm.
But the really because a lot of people thought like Jack the Ripper was like a surgeon or a doctor or something like that because the cuts were so dang it, I forgot the word of it.
Mm-hmm.
Precise. We'll just go
yes.
But looking at it, Aaron Kaminsky was a 23-year-old barber from Poland. Back in that day, barbers, I don't know about London. I know in the United States, barbers were still half surgeons too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they also did like dentistry and everything like that. That's the reason why the barber pole.
Yes.
It's red and white because you got the white for the surgeon and the red for the barber.
Yeah.
But let me get rid of this identity stuff and go full on. Too bad we can't talk about that.
And while we're on the subject of jumping off the rails, you know, in the Toy Story universe, right?
Yeah, they're
The
making
Toy
another
Story
one.
cinematic universe, sex toys are alive too.
Yeah, I was the one that posted that.
No, there's a Facebook page. It's a Star Trek parody. It's called Riker's Beard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he basically plays the part of Skeletor, where you see him dashing back down the hallways of the Enterprise D after he puts off some jacked up factoid.
What the hell? Anyways, all these murders happened in England in the Whitechapel area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back in that nowadays, Whitechapel is actually very prominent. Businesses are booming and everything like that. But at the time, and during the time frame of April 3rd, 1888 to 13 of February 1891, which the murders happened through, it was pretty much like, I guess, going to San Francisco now. Because is that a bad reference? I think it was a good reference.
No. I just had a weather alert come through.
Yeah, it was supposed to get some rain today.
No. They're projecting snow accumulation this week.
Really?
Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful, I am incredibly sorry. Not sorry for hijacking the ever loving dog shit out of our broadcast today, but
Dude,
yeah,
Friday it's supposed to be like 81. We got
I know.
63,
Like none
61.
of the models make sense, man.
That is weird. But anyways, back to the show. What they call is the Whitechapel murders, because it happened in Whitechapel. Jack the Ripper, they for the longest time, they didn't have a suspect or anything. It was the and when they tried to find a suspect, they had so many letters coming in. It's like, I'm the murderer, you'll never find me. The most prominent of those letters was the one, it's called the From Hell letter.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring this up. I should have had this up. This thing I'm hoping that it's just the person messed it up,
Right.
but it reads, From Hell, Mr. Lusk, the writer of newspaper. Doesn't say the newspaper on it. But anyways, Mr. Lusk, sore, I send you half the kingy, which is kidney, I took from one woman, preserved it for you, toother. I'll send you this thing because it's just, I know my dyslexia is bad, but this person did not. He was not educated at all. Let me turn this off. Preserved it for the piece I fried and ate it, was very nice. I may send you the bloody knife that took it out if you only white. I can't. I don't even know if that. There is no way that's a word. It's like
Yeah.
wait
I'll look at it in a second.
wheel longer, signed, catch me when you can, Mester Lusk. I mean, I'll post this on our website.
At no point during your incoherent ramblings did anything you say make any kind of discernible point.
No, it didn't.
And everybody in this room is now dumber for having heard it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I know, right? I mean, I looked at it and I was like, okay, I know how to decipher really bad language and everything, and my mind can like put it together. But I was like,
Like this dude didn't understand the assignment.
yeah. It was like, write a letter to your local newspaper describing of a murder. Okay, ma'am.
I got you. You're number one GI all day.
It's almost as bad as a Marine trying to do an
From
Ukrainian.
hell, Mr. Lusk. Sure. Well, you said he was what, Polish? I send you half of kidney. I took from one woman preserved for you to other piece I fried and ate it. Very nice. I may send you the bloody knife that I took it out if you will only want to wait a while longer. Signed, catch me when you can, Mr. Lusk. Yes? See, zooming out, it makes a sense, huh? Huh?
A little bit.
Okay.
Still fucked off.
Okay. Nobody. Bueller.
I got it.
You know, the thumbs up, like, okay.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And they know they don't do it like that because I've watched so many Romanian cooking shows and everything like that. They always do.
This is in my country. If you do not give firm thumbs up, you will not break through sphincter and able to thumb woman and bottle. Like, that got dark.
I got really dark, man. But
damn it, Tyrone. I don't know why that. Why is he Tyrone now all of a sudden?
But they got thousands of letters trying to find the actual suspect, and it ended up being the newspaper, White Castle newspaper, that named him Jack the Ripper. They didn't have a name for it, but I think there was actually someone that got away that didn't die, but they got 5 critical victims over those spans.
So I even remember reading somewhere that Jack the Ripper actually successfully fled the country and immigrated to America, where he died of old age.
Well, if it's the suspect they have for the if the suspect is actually reared the AA run or Aaron, whatever I want to say, that joke's never gonna get old.
It's never gonna get old.
But he actually ended up dying in a mental institution, like 2 years after the fact of Jack the Ripper stopping. So, but all these crimes were, they called it the canola.
Wait, hold on.
Canonical 5.
Conical 5.
Chronicle 5. There we go.
Yes, there we go. The Conical 5 Ripper victims are Marion Nichols, and Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Edos, and Mary Jane Kelly.
Now, the Catherine Edos, that's where they found the DNA from on the Shaw. And all these women were prostitutes. So they didn't have souls. So,
but that could have been from any one of her Johns. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because Aaron actually visited prostitutes. So it was kind of, it was one of those things. So
the body of Marion Nichols was discovered at about 3:40 a.m. on Friday, 31st, August 1888 in Bucks Row, now Deward Street in Whitechapel. She had been last seen alive approximately an hour before the discovery of her body by Miss Emily Holland, with whom she had previously shared a bed at a common lodging house in Thrall Street in Spitalfields. Apropos, walking in the direction of Whitechapel Road. Her throat was severed by 2 deep cuts, one of which completely severed all of the tissue down to the vertebra. Her vagina had been stabbed twice. and the lower part of her abdomen was partly ripped open by a deep, jagged wound, causing her bowels to protrude. Several other incisions inflicted to both sides of her abdomen had also been caused by the same knife. Each of those wounds had been inflicted in a downward thrusting manner. 1 week later, on September 8th, same year, the body of Annie Chapman was discovered at around 6 a.m. near the steps of the doorway to the backyard of 29 Hanbury Street in Spitalfields. As in the case of Marion Nichols, her throat was severed by 2 deep cuts. Her abdomen had been cut entirely open, with a section of the flesh from her stomach being placed upon her left shoulder and another section of skin and flesh, plus her small intestines being removed and placed above her right shoulder. Chapman's autopsy revealed that her uterus and sections of her bladder and vagina had been removed. At the inquest into Chapman's murder, Elizabeth Long described having seen Chapman standing outside 29 Hanbury Street about 5:30 a.m. in the company of a dark-haired man wearing a brown deerstalker hat and an overcoat, and of a shabby, genteel appearance. According to this eyewitness, the man had asked Chapman the question, "Will you?" to which Chapman had replied, "Yes." Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eros were both killed in the early morning hours of Sunday, 30th of September of the same year, 1888. Stride's body was discovered approximately at 1 a.m. in Dutfield's yard off Brenner Street, now Enrique Street in Whitechapel. The cause of death was a single clear-cut incision measuring 6 inches across her neck, which had severed her left carotid artery in her trachea before terminating beneath her right jaw. The absence of any further mutilations to her body had led to uncertainty as to the company of a man in or close to Brenner Street on the evening of 29 September and in the early hours of 30 September. But each gave differing descriptions. Some said that her companion was fair, others said dark. Some said that he was shabbily dressed, others said well-dressed. Catherine Edo's body was found in a corner of Mitre Square in the city of London itself. 3/4 of an hour after the discovery of the body of Elizabeth Stride. Her throat was severed from ear to ear, and her abdomen had been ripped open by a long, deep, and jagged wound before her intestines had been placed over her right shoulder, with a section of intestine being completely detached and placed between her body and left arm. The left kidney and major part of Edo's uterus had been removed, and her face had been completely disfigured, with her nose severed, her cheeks slashed, and cuts measuring 1/4 inch and a half each, respectively vertically incised through each of her eyelids. A triangular incision, the apex of which pointed towards Edo's eye. It had also been carved upon each of her cheeks, and a section of the auricle and lobe of her right ear were later recovered from her clothing. The police surgeon who conducted the postmortem stated that his opinion, these mutilations would have taken at least 5 minutes to complete. A local cigarette salesman named Joseph Laudend had passed through the square with 2 friends shortly before the murder. And he described seeing a fair-haired man of shabby appearance with a woman who may have been Edo's. Laudend's companions were unable to confirm his description. The murders of Stride and Edo's ultimately became known as the double event. The section of Edo's bloodied apron was found at the entrance to a tenement in Gulstan Street, there at Whitechapel, at about 2:55 a.m. Chalk inscription upon the wall directly above this piece of apron read, "The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." This graffito became known as the Gulstan Street Graffito. The message appeared to imply that a Jew or Jews in general were responsible for the series of murders, but it is unclear whether the graffito was written by the murderer on dropping the section of apron, or that a Jew was merely incidental and had nothing to do with the case. Such graffiti were commonplace in Whitechapel. Police Commissioner Charles Warren feared that the graffiti might spark anti-Semitic riots and ordered the writing washed away before dawn. The extensively mutilated and disemboweled body of Mary Jane Kelly was discovered lying on the bed in the single room where she lived at 13 Miller's Court off of Dorset Street in Spitalfields at 10:45 in the morning on Friday, November 9th of 1888. Her face had been hacked beyond all recognition, with her throat severed down to the spine and the abdomen almost emptied of its organs. Her uterus, kidneys, and one breast had been placed beneath her head, and the other viscera from her body placed beside her foot. The viscera is an organ is a collection of tissues joined in a structural unit to form a common to serve a common function.
Yeah.
Tissues are formed from the same type of cells to act together in a function. So that's basically what they're talking about there.
What's really interesting though, and this is still on subject, is the basic fact of during that time period and everything, Jews just got a lot of hate for the longest time.
And for the most part, I mean,
depending on what part
of
the
the world,
hate. Yeah, depending on what part of the world you're in.
Well, I mean, even here in America, which is stupid. But
yeah. I mean, I love Ben
her
Shapiro.
heart was the heart was missing from the crime scene though.
Yeah.
Each of the Conical Five murders were perpetrated at night or close to a weekend, either at the end of the month or a week or so after. The mutilations became increasingly severe as the series of murders proceeded, except for that one of Stride, whose attacker may have been interrupted. Nichols was not missing any organs. Chapman's uterus and sections of her bladder and vagina were taken. Eddowes had her uterus and left kidney removed and her face mutilated, and Kelly's body was extensively eviscerated, with her face gashed in all directions and the tissue of her neck being severed to the bone, although the heart was the sole body organ missing from this crime scene.
What's really another thing that it just goes off, it's like, I'd rather be killed by a woman each and every time. If it was a woman serial killer, she would just killed you. But a man serial killer, he will mutilate your body, and you might or might not be alive.
Odds are he probably killed them, and then just because at that point he doesn't want to be interrupted by screams, so he's going to kill them. He's going to sever the carotid artery in the throat, the trachea, so that way they can't scream. They bleed out really quick. That frees him up to do whatever he needs to do. The only thing that he has to contend with is maybe the occasional synaptic firing of the nerve ending and muscles twitch. That's it.
Yeah. Or the passerbys. I mean,
yeah.
But if you got them in a dark alley and everything like that, you really don't have to worry about that.
Right. But historically, the belief that these Conical Five murders were committed by the same perpetrators derived from contemporary documents, which link them together. Because there's Sir Melville Monckton, the assistant chief constable of the Metropolitan Police Service and head of the criminal, basically CID, Criminal Investigation Department, wrote a report that stated that the Whitechapel murderer had 5 victims and 5 victims only. Similarly, the Conical Five victims were linked together in a letter written by police surgeon Thomas Bond to Robert Anderson, head of the London CID, on 10 November 1888. Some researchers have concluded that some of the murders were undoubtedly the work of a single person, but an unknown larger number of killers acting independently were responsible for other crimes. So that, then they start getting into the whole copycat thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
While
you're talking, with the later Whitechapel murders, some of them were strangled, some of them were boys. It just goes on and on and on. I mean, during that time frame, it was just total shit show there, really.
Yeah, I mean, Mary Jane Kelly is considered widely to be his last victim.
but they have other murders that they a lot of the news corporation wanted to add in, like here's one on December 29th, 1888. Body of a 7-year-old boy named John Gill was found in a stable block below. Was missing since the 27th of December. His legs have been severed, his abdomen open, his intestines partly drawn out, and his heart and ear was removed. I mean, that other than the fact of it wasn't the same MO, it was a little boy compared to a prostitute. They have Charlie Brown reported was strangled with clothing and mutilated with a knife. This is the and this is the one that people thought it was Jack the Ripper because it was in New York City. Her body was found with a large tear through her groin area, superficial cuts on her legs and back. No organs were removed from the scene, though an ovary was found upon the bed, either purposely removed or unintentionally dislodged. At the time the murder was compared to those in Whitechapel, though in the Metropolitan Police eventually ruled out the connection. And that happened in the 24th of April, 1891. Given the time frame of how long it would take to get from England to here, that's a reasonable amount of time. But the MO, I mean, for the first 5 murders, everything was pitch almost perfect, the same. But these other murders that they said, oh no, Jack the Ripper did this. Like, well, if you take most serial killers, they don't deviate on their killings.
Right.
They keep everything the same. Honestly, there's a lot of them I think are just like super OCD.
Right.
To the point where if they don't do it the right way, they feel that they may get caught or something like that, or something deviates. And they get that anxiety of not doing it the same each and every time. It's like it. I hate to say this is almost like a factory worker. They want to do it. Okay, let's go on to the next one type deal.
Right.
Which these people don't have like any kind of emotional attachments to anything anymore. So
yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, whether or not Jack the Ripper perpetrated all of these crimes or what happened to him after the spree was over, whether he was he was he was tapping out after the 5th, and then just because of the legend taking off the way that it did, and just the overpopulation and just the overwhelmment of the London police service, it just, you had people basically out there just committing murders ad nauseum and with no fear of recourse, because I mean, really, how are they going to get caught, right?
Yeah.
But there is a lot of speculation as to whether or not they know who it is. There's a lot of speculation as to whether or not he actually got caught. Like I told you before we started recording tonight, I even read an article where it was speculated that he escaped the country.
Yeah, that's what the
immigrated to America.
One was for.
Yeah, I mean, he made it to New York City and died of old age.
Yeah. But if you're going off of Babylon 5, he was abducted and made as a torturer for when they needed it. You don't watch that episode?
Okay. I have attempted on numerous occasions to rewatch Babylon 5 from the beginning. And I know that I should ignore the sort I'm looking for. Ignore the cutting edge CGI of the time.
That is kind of
but dude,
makes
it's
you want to throw up
so
a little bit.
Incredibly hard to do. I mean, I could watch shows like Space 1999, where the moon fucking leaves its orbit and becomes its own ship, basically, and
Yeah.
it's traveling throughout the galaxy with seemingly no propulsion, but yet there we are. Knowing that these are basically models with squibs planted on them and they're flying with fishing wire, to me somehow still comes off way more believable.
Yeah,
Just the overuse in like Babylon 5, like especially in the first season, definitely tell that it was rooted in the 90s because of the overabundance of the color purple every fucking where.
they have an overabundance.
Garibaldi's suit was purple.
Well, no, it's not that. I was just thinking in the 90s. Was it like everything purple?
There was a lot of purple in the 90s,
Was it
man.
really?
Yeah, there was.
I don't know what that is.
I mean, like, you don't have smart lights there, do you?
No.
Okay. Alexa, lights out. All right. So you see this blue haze, right?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how to.
Oh, you be quiet.
Okay.
See?
Yeah.
Look,
That's Babylon Fun.
Now I'm on the Babylon 5 station. So there you go.
Yeah. But
Alexa, table lamp at 15%. There. Now I've got a little bit of extra light in here. And what's Johnny trying to do? Is he trying to set the mood?
But funny story. When we were going,
You're like, ooh, baby.
we were taking leave on for Christmas holiday.
Right.
When I was at my tech school, and one of the women there, they were gonna get married.
One of the women's, yeah.
They were gonna get married when they got back home, and they're gonna come back married. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be fun. She's like, what do you need to do? I live in Dallas. You're not coming to the wedding, are you? I was like, no, but I'm gonna put it in your head. As soon as you get onto the wedding night, you're gonna walk through that door and go bow, chicka, bow, bow. She's like, that's not gonna work. And I kept this up for like a week straight, just doing it constantly in her head. She got back, she punched the fuck out of me because it worked. Nice. Subliminal message, yes. But yeah. There is a lot of
my wedding night. There will be no, oh baby, chicka chicka bow. I mean, dude,
it's kind of at
the overture, the main theme from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yes,
that's going to be playing in my head because it's going to be epic. See what I did there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But there's been a lot of movies, books, other stories, all connections to Jack the Ripper. Everybody has their own take on it. I mean, even I had his head in it. I had his name in my head. Comic book writer. He did Watchmen also.
Robert Kirkman?
No.
All right. So while you're looking that up, those scalp massagers. You get them for like $1.50. Dude, I picked up like 6 of them at Walmart yesterday. I absolutely love them. Dude, do you put this thing on your head and it's like hitting the reset button for a second? You're just like
Alan Moore. It was an Alan Moore comic book. And he's crazy anyways. But he wrote a comic book from hell for DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
That one got turned into a movie. A lot of other movies.
You know what one of my favorite theories is?
What's that?
And just follow me here because, like, all right. So you've seen The Princess Bride, obviously, right? Who hasn't?
Mm.
So they keep talking about how the Dread Pirate Roberts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically retired and gave the title to Wesley, right?
Yeah, it was like the third one though.
Right. So he kept saying, as you wish, right? Throughout the course of the entire movie, as you wish, as you wish. Well, the grandfather, that was reading the book, at the end of the movie, when his grandson says, hey, can maybe come back tomorrow and read it to me again? He turns to him and looks and says, as you wish. I have a theory, and this is something that I've heard. It is widely believed. The grandfather was that current version of the Dread Pirate Roberts, and that he was going to pass it down to his grandson eventually.
I could see it.
I mean, come on. He's already got the name Fred Savage. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a leap to change a couple of consonants here and there. Fred
That's still like
Savage,
the Deadpool.
right? Where you had him duct taped to the bed.
Kind of want to see that now.
Once upon a Deadpool. Yep. I know that was widely, like, totally off topic, but it was just sitting there stuck in my head. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. So I went from scalp massagers to the Princess Bride. You are welcome.
Yeah. But I ended up buying like a whole box of those one day and just start giving them people. And people just love those things.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's like a fucking reset button.
Yeah.
I mean, oh.
But anyways, I guess that's the end of this episode.
We will do our sports episode tomorrow because we still have one more game to play tonight. And because the Armed Forces Bowl officially announced its contestants today, vettix.org made the event available. So I've got 5 tickets to that game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to the game, at least by myself. I don't really know who else is going to go. Maybe my dad, maybe my brother. Not entirely sure. What are you doing that day?
When is it?
The 22nd. It's a Wednesday.
Oh, I gotta go work
On the 22nd?
22nd, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that sucks. So, all right. Yeah. Apps freaking lootly groovy. Okay.
Yeah, because I can't because of I don't have like time into it that I've actually worked 3 months yet. That's still I can't take days off or anything like that. And
Gotcha.
The Thanksgiving missing 2 days. That was the whole reason why I had to work on getting rid of that fence and everything for like $175 because I needed the money.
Yeah. For the purposes of
bills.
This recording. Yes, you did some side work.
Yeah. See what you did there.
I hate you.
That happens. Well, it's one of those.
I'm actually quite impressed.
Yeah. Well, no, I end up saying stupid shit all the time. It's just you getting back at it.
Well, I mean, Anyways, so I'm gonna I'll get plenty of pictures, obviously. And because the last time we got to go see Army play at that game, I got to take the field with Army when they won, and I got to sing second with Army. Gonna try to get that again. Try to get more pictures from the field. Let me see here. Let me see. Hold on. This is the ex-wife. This is a child care thing. Um,
While you're doing that, we need to get together sometime and actually talk about some of the shirts that we can start producing and everything. We need to make a list
yeah.
and do a little bit more collaboration. Even
Right.
though we barely have enough time to do these episodes anymore right now.
Yeah, but we make time because it's important.
Yeah.
One of the hints that I did drop for the considerable size gift for Christmas this year is a digital drawing tablet with some drawing software that works with Mac OS.
Oh, that's good.
So possibly maybe, do some of our own
Drawings.
graphic design.
Do some drawings in a
Some
bathtub.
drawings. And in addition to t-shirts, maybe we could offer possibly, just saying possibly, a coffee mug or two, maybe possibly. Ideas there. Not entirely sure. Like I perfect one right here. I'm putting this out on the table. We can work it. It's finesse it like a nice body work for Photoshop. Yes. On the side of the coffee cup. And this is a coffee cup idea. Okay. So hear me out. I need to stop talking like that.
Yeah, someone's gonna say we're communists.
We can put a pitcher of milk and a coffee bean and to make it like a visual math problem. Milk plus bean equals. See where I'm going with that?
Actually,
the idea that we were gonna try to pitch to Evan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We could also just have it like milk and coffee bean, and they're like making out and
like
doing dirty
nobody
things.
needs to know. 9 months later.
Yeah.
With the coffee bean, with the drip, and then down below it just says, yeah. But yeah, we'll work these things out. We'll make them available to our angry faithful first.
And we need to get that shirt for the angry faithful going too. Oh, we got a lot of ideas, and we're still small.
The angry faithful gets their salute. You know how like we got the cross rifles, right? The cross ARs, they could be cross middle fingers.
Yeah. We got a lot of working to do. We definitely need to sit down and
because we've got basically,
especially starting in next year, since we actually have like a lot of supporters now compared to what we had last year.
So basically at this point, we're on a clock because we've got 5.5 months, really 6 months before my
we could still do
presence
this
in Wichita Falls becomes a rarity.
Yeah. Well, we can still do the interviews and stuff like that on Zoom. But anyways, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
And this is Psychos and Sociopaths. Thank you for watching everything.
Wait, hold on, because you know what? Oh God, what is that?
I don't know.
That was just me doing that whole that was horrible. Seriously, it just really, that was bad. I'm like, if this was a live audience, this is what you would hear. They'd be like, what was that? Was that supposed to be the joke? And I'm like, no, you just no.
Oh no.
Anyways, everybody, you have yourself a wonderful afternoon. We will see you tomorrow for our Nerd Sports episode, where we get to go over how dismally horrible our picks were for the week, to include what may very well be the only victory that the Detroit Lions have all year long.
Yeah.
But until then, again, I'm Johnny Skelton.
I'm David Dickerman.
Peace out.
Goodbye.